policy. And may I say how pleased I am that she's finally moved off cake, Mr. Speaker, because it seemed to me over the last few weeks that all the opposition could ever talk about was cake, whether we have had our cake and eaten it, or whether there's been no cake, or whether there never was any cake, or what cake there may have been, whether it's baked, how many eggs there were in the cake, whether it's made with margarine or butter, what type of cake it was, did it have sponge, was it chocolate? All these issues about cake have been the obsession of the opposition, so I am glad that we are now getting on to some more serious subjects, because the Honourable Lady refers to the cost of living issue, and here the government has been extremely active in helping people, in helping families. So the national living wage will rise to £9.50 from April, meaning an extra £1,000 a year for full-time workers. Nearly 2 million families will get an extra £1,000 a year through our cut to the universal credit taper and increased work allowances. There is also a £140 rebate on the energy bills of 2.2 million low-income households this winter. There are seasonal cold weather payments of an extra £25 a week for up to 4 million people during sustained colder periods. But the key to ensuring that the economy works is actually the steps taken by the government during the pandemic, introducing the furlough scheme, introducing bounce-back business loans, to make sure that the structures of the economy survived the pandemic. And that has been fundamental to the reason that we now have the highest payroll employment in our history, the lowest recorded youth unemployment in our history, and the economy back to where it was before the pandemic. So the real answer on the cost of living is the economy being managed well? And the answer to that is yes, it is, by the decisions this government made. And then the Honourable Lady comes on to the issue of fraud, the £4.3 billion that has come out of the COVID supplies, which is about 1% of the amount of money that British taxpayers provided. But the government has already stopped or recovered £743 million in overclaimed furlough grants. We have prevented £2.2 billion in fraud from our bounce-back loan scheme, and our taxpayer protection force is set to recover an additional £1 billion as investigations are underway. So the government takes this seriously. But, Mr. Speaker, if we want to know who are the real experts in wasting taxpayers' money, it's the socialists when they're in opposition. What happened to the NHS computer system? How many billions was that frittered away with their irresponsible approach to taxpayers' money? And then the Honourable Lady comes on to the National Disability Strategy and the court judgment yesterday, but the DWP has sought permission to appeal the judgment, which is solely around technicalities and the requirements to consult. DWP engaged with disabled people's organisations, carers and others, as part of the National Disability Strategy, which is one of the broadest packages of real practical actions so far put together to improve the lives of disabled people across jobs, housing, transport, education, shopping, culture, justice, public services, data and evidence. So there is a real push to help the disabled people. And then we come on to the Afghanistan animals. The Ministry of Defence got 15,000 people out of Afghanistan in an extraordinary operation, an amazingly successful operation. And again, the opposition is dealing with the fripperies and with the trivia, not with the really big picture. All they care about is cake and animals, whereas we are getting on with the important business of government.
Laura Forrest.
Thank you.